Because the show is in London, to me, it's appropriate that quite a few of the pictures here have been created in London for London. I'm a great believer that you give people what they want. Let them eat cake, let them have the kind of pictures that resonate to the audience. I travel around the world, but pictures in Africa and pictures in Montana are going to have less resonance perhaps to a public in Mayfair, London, than pictures that tell stories of this incredibly storied, world-famous city, the best city in the world. So we have taken our storytelling from the plains of West Texas or the mountains of the Rockies back to London. Of course, in the show we have pictures all around the world. We have pictures here from Wall Street, from Route 66 in America, to the African wilds. But there is very much a London vibe to this. And gritty London, not contemporary London. I much prefer going back in time because it adds a kind of character for free. So we have pictures here that are taken in London in the 1920s, London in the 1930s, and New York in the 1960s. So it's a real hodgepodge, but hopefully the collective, the sum of the parts is strong. I think we all love gangster movies. There was something that makes you drawn to that whole genre of film. There's something in the organization when we don't believe in governments that draws us to an unregulated organization where they seem to get a lot of things right. The only criticism perhaps of gangster movies and gangsters series is that women were excluded almost to a point of parody. They were objects of lust or have some sort of family connection, rather than necessarily being agents of their own desire, rather than being their own agents. And I wanted to flip it on its head and, in a Peaky Blinders parody, have a woman as the central figure. And once I decided on that, it was fairly easy to go with Cara because she's got such presence and force of nature and the best eyes to photograph of anyone I know in the world. And of course, because she's theatrical and intelligent, she can go into any role with a flick of a switch or a flick of a finger. I think the picture's strong, it's got layers to it. There's grittiness and there's glamour, and the two together coalesce in a way that actually is a bit magical. London Town is a rare opportunity to work with probably the strongest male lead that you could have in the UK in these kind of pictures, in David, who's so easy to work with, and Cara. And I wanted to play on that grit and glamour theme again. I wanted to have those sort of satanic chimneys in the background, and smoke and grit and grime, and a hint of violence and loose regulation. But underneath having this woman in a kind of Great Gatsby vibe that stands out as the beauty amongst the grime. And again, Cara plays that role very, very well. So with An Englishman in New York, I think if you asked 100 Brits who their favorite national treasure was, you get a few Beckhams thrown in, and of course, because of football allegiance, you get one or two footballers. But we struggled to find a person that we felt you could describe as a true national treasure. And then my mind went to Bill Nighy, and I think we got it right because he's universally loved. He's incredibly smart. And so to have a conversation, a direction conversation with him, I kind of shut up and just listen to Bill, because I'll take it from Bill. He's so well-read, so urbane and experienced. He's incredibly diverse. He can play anything. But we wanted him to still be a picture of elegance. It was his idea that we shot in a New York theme, which is exactly what we did. And then I thought we'd go back to the 60s again, make it a period style. It's meatpacking district, New York, 1960s. We wanted a newspaper headline that would point to a specific time. So we went for Cassius Clay, Muhammad Ali, the morning after the Sonny Lister fight, when there was snow in New York. So it made it give credibility to the idea that there'd be snow on the ground. We thought about JFK, but in November of 1963, there was no snow in the ground in New York. So we went for a bit of historical accuracy. I think it's a cracking picture.